Welcome
Welcome
to
to
Shade
Shade
in the
in the
City.
City.
I'm your girl, Treese.
It's Nels.
And I'm feeling a lot better, as you guys can tell. Well, if you watch the Love and Marriage Huntsville review. But even I think if you watched the last 90 Day, I was roughing it, toughing it. These allergies was real, or whatever the hell I was going through. I just know it wasn't the vid. Thank God. Thank God for that. Anyway, guys, so we are here to catch up on 90 Day The Other Way, season 4, episode 10. One hand does not clap.
Did that make sense to you?
Yeah, one hand doesn't clap. It's a slap. Because the hands have to meet together to clap. So it's a slap.
Is that what you got from that?
That's what I got from it just now. That was off the dome. Anyway, if you have not already, Shade Squad, please make sure that you hit that like button.
And that subscribe button.
And y'all, let's get into it. Y'all know I can't wait to get into my mood and Nicole. All right, y'all, let's get shady.
They're the first ones.
Yes, I love it. Y'all, Nicole has been in Egypt now. I told you I was ready to get into this. She's been in Egypt now for 4 months. My notes say how, I don't know. My mood is super passive.
But she said it's the longest time she's ever been there.
Right. My mood is being super passive aggressive at the beginning of their scene and asked how she slept the night before. And she's like, oh, I slept real well because of they got this nice new, what I wouldn't even say modernized air conditioner for us, but for them, this, this shit. It look expensive. So, only for him to take a dig and say, well, she runs it 24/7. I can't stand it. And my notes say, like it's not hot.
But they be used to that. That
but she's not.
But that's why it's hard for him to comprehend, because it's like we sitting in the house and it's hot, but it's not that serious.
And Shade Squad, I think that y'all know by now, I am very good at playing devil's advocate, but this episode, oh no, my mood is gonna get it. I have been on his side for a lot of stuff this whole season, but I am starting to see that he is just nasty. He's just nasty to her. And I don't like it. Yes, she is naive. And a lot of other things, and we'll get into that. But he is just nasty to her. The little snide remarks and things that he does, I wouldn't want to do.
Well, I thought you'd been picked up on that, because you said that they kind of take digs at each other. Clearly,
so they agreed to stop talking about their problems, so they could avoid fighting. Now,
until they can find a healthy way to do it.
What happened?
Until they can find a healthy way to do it.
So that means it's not going to happen.
Absolutely.
So Nicole is still having a difficult time adjusting, and she stays in her room 12 hours a day. And as you know, she just sits in the house with his mom. That sounds depressing as just my thoughts. No shade to anybody else's culture, but I would hope that you like your mother-in-law enough that you would actually go out and talk to her versus staying up in the room. But that's just me.
Sitting up in my room. But guess what? She ain't gonna be in there for long.
Right. They went to look at apartments. And of course, my mood is not really looking to move out. And that actually was a very nice apartment. And Nicole was looking forward to, just having their own independence. Mm-hmm. So she goes searching for a women's meditation because she knows Mahmoud would never like her attending a meditation with men involved, but feels this is something that she needs right now. So Nicole actually gets emotional towards the end of the meditation. And the instructor, Nuran, I believe it's pronounced, introduces comes up and introduces herself. She comes off as a very chipper, hey, how you doing? I guess, namaste, Nuran. And she wants to sit and chat. So Nicole opens up very quickly and starts telling her about
her whole life problems.
Right. It didn't even take, I was like, I don't even know if that's a Pisces thing.
I think that's why Mahmoud was confused too. Like you just
met this girl and you just told her all your business. But I guess because she can't talk to him, You got to talk to somebody. So at least she's releasing. Kudos, Nicole. Now, you know, she basically tells her about his rules, how he's controlling. And that's why she got emotional during the class. And that we learned that Nicole is in Fasil, Egypt, which is, I guess, a little bit more conservative area, Naran says. And she asked her if she's been to New Cairo and tells her it's like being in Dubai. Nuran says her friends go to the bars, they dance, they drink. It's like the life of an American in Egypt and still being a Muslim. I said, well, here
we come.
Let me tell y'all something. I will admit when I am wrong. Okay. Now, I said Nicole should conform and she needs to understand where she at. And I still believe that because she's in a conservative area. However, I can be honest and say in my ignorance, I didn't know that there was another life in the same place and you could have the best of both worlds.
Apparently neither did she.
Right. So Naran shared.
But apparently neither did what's his face?
Mahmoud. He looked shocked, like, what?
Like, lady, are you Muslim?
Right. why would you go there? So Naran, tells opens up about herself because Nicole had told all her business, so it would be kind of awkward. She says that she grew up with the same rules and her parents allowed her to do what she wanted when she hit 18. She says she met a man who wanted to try and impose that conservative lifestyle on her again, and she wasn't here for it. Now, Naran tells her that's just how 90% of Egyptian men are. So basically, you can look near, wide, and far, baby, but it's going to be a rare find. And Nicole feels validated talking to Naran. They both bond knowing what it's like to have a man try to change who you are to make.
That makes me wonder if most of the men in New Cairo are not Egyptian, and maybe it's just the women. Because she said 90% of men, the Egyptian men, are like that. And clearly, if they can't accept the culture in New Cairo, it makes me feel like, what type of men are there then?
I think that we gonna get deeper into it, but I think that because we even seen Ahmed, who's been exposed to different things, and he's not as closed-minded.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying just because Mahmoud wants to. We'll get there. I'm gonna break it down. I'm gonna take y'all.
He's not closed-minded, but he's still doing what, he still has his woman completely covered, and she wears her
right, but he doesn't do that when he leaves outside of that area. They said that. So even he's more open-minded to the fact that he's being respectful of where the space that he's in. But
we don't know if Mahmoud would be the same way leaving outside of that area.
Well, he's not open to going nowhere
exactly
because he's closed-minded. Anyway, what did his brother say? He has a very small mind.
Yeah, he did.
And basically, Noran does say, though, disclaimer for the Egyptian men, they're like no other in the world. She said, you got to pick and choose your battles because these men will shower you with love and attention, but they do not believe in equality, sweetheart. And so basically she says that, she tells production from a woman that's there, you can try to fight it, or, a woman from Egypt, you can try to fight it, but eventually, you'll give in or whatever the case may be. However, Nicole being American, she just wants to shake her and basically tell her to wake up and go back home or go somewhere else. And she tells her that she hopes she finds peace.
Get out.
Right. Blink twice, Nicole. Right. And tells her to reach out if she ever needs someone to talk to, but doesn't know how Mahmoud is going to feel about and Nicole is unsure about how Mahmoud is going to feel about their friendship or Naran in general.
So Mahmoud is taking Nicole, he says somewhere to surprise her. And she is pressing this man. She's like, where are we going? So he, she's excited to find out that she's going to get hummus. She says it's not the same type of hummus that we have here.
It damn sure
It,
wasn't. I was so confused. I was like, girl,
but she
you
said
can't
a
go to the
drink.
supermarket and get that.
Because she said a drink, and I was like, what? But then she explained that basically it's she said it's chickpeas in like a lemony broth, what they consider hummus, but she said it's amazing. So Mahmoud says
Whatever
she's
you got, whatever mocktail you got to drink to make you feel better, that you can't have a beer.
you're an idiot. So Mahmoud says he's happy, they haven't fought in months, but he still feels like Nicole is really not happy there, and he wants to take her out, to make her let her
To
know
make
that
her
he
feel
loves,
like he gives a
yeah, loves and cares about her, Trace. Um, and then he asked her how her day was. She lights up. She's like, my day was great. Meditation class was
That's
amazing.
another thing he ain't like.
That she was happy.
Though at how happy she was.
You are the worst. I don't think so.
She even says, this is the happiest I've been since I've been in Egypt.
Yeah, but I don't think
You've been
he's
here for
getting.
4 months with me. You meet this for 5 minutes, and this is the happiest you've been since you got.
Yes, because she's validating her feelings and her
You don't
thoughts.
see it like that. That's what I'm
Well,
saying.
he don't know yet, but I don't think that he was not happy that she was happy. Now, once he found out why she was happy, that was a different story.
He don't want that girl to have nothing. Okay? He
But
want her to
yeah,
sit
she
in
did
that
say
room
she
and look at
hasn't
the
been,
walls.
huh?
He want her to sit in that room, look at them walls, and
You are
pray.
the worst.
He's very closed-minded, and like the girl said, he ain't done no research. But I'm gonna be quiet. I'll save it for later.
So she tells him that, but a lot of people, well, I can say that about a lot of religions, but we ain't
No,
gonna get into that.
like I said, I'm gonna take y'all to church. We're gonna get there.
We ain't gonna get in there yet. So she tells him that the instructor of meditation, her name is Naran, and she was super cool. She talked about their relationship and how, she feels like she's losing herself. And basically this woman validated all of her feelings. Mahmoud says she looks so happy, but he don't want to ruin it for her. But basically he's like, what? Why are you telling this lady all of our business? Now in the confessional, he
Stranger
says
danger.
that, huh?
Stranger danger.
In the confessional, he says, when he's around his friends, he doesn't ever talk about his wife. It's not acceptable. So he feels like it's kind of weird that she just met this woman and she's talking about their relationship. Mahmoud feels like, maybe she has a bad experience with men or whatever after hearing what Nicole is telling him about her. Now she
You
says
still
that,
want to keep this cape on for my mood? You can, but look, I didn't took that off and let it go. Okay, in the wind.
no. She said that she was told that most Egyptian men are a lot alike, that you all give a lot of love and attention and then try to change you, and you'll never be good enough for them.
And you know what he tells her, y'all?
He
He
said,
said, "You don't need to be talking. You don't need to
he
be
said, I
friends no
told you to
more."
have a good, he said, I told you to go out, have a good time. What the hell is this shit? How you come back to me with it? She said she loved every minute of it. She said, I think me and Iran think the same way. He said, I think you and Iran don't need to see each other anymore. And he starts laughing. Well, I
He
think she
starts
started laughing.
laughing, but it's a passive aggressive laugh.
Yeah,
He
he
meant
was
that.
dead. He was dead ass serious. He
He
was
meant
dead ass
that.
serious. He said, of course, he wants Nicole to get out and make friends. It'll make her love Egypt even more. But he doesn't feel like Naran is, going to be a good friend for their relationship. And he tells her that, he's just worried that basically she'll cause trouble in their relationship. But he can see, that she's happy, so he doesn't really want to upset her.
So Nicole is taking Mahmoud to meet Naran in hopes that she can speak to Mahmoud as someone, from Egypt with knowledge of the culture, but basically still doesn't conform. Mahmoud says he's nervous and thinks Naran has issues with men, misogyny. He tells Nicole he would never pick her friends for her, but did tell her if she wanted friends to keep her safe, she needed to vet them. That's not controlling at all.
He needed to vet them.
Yeah, that's not controlling at all. Now, Naran arrives and he's judging her because she came in wearing a what he considered to be a short dress, which she did come in a little sundress. I'm not gonna lie, based off the culture, I don't know where they met, what if they were in the New Cairo or the conservative.
Trust me, they were not in New Cairo.
But in comparison to Nicole being necked up and
Did you see
to
the
her
people in the
ankles.
background looking at her?
Oh, I didn't catch that.
You didn't. There was people behind Mahmoud looking at Naran when she came in.
He's trying to be nice as he can for Nicole, but clearly he's judging Naran. So Naran says that, she basically comes in out the gate and says she has plenty of foreign friends in the country, and no one ever said you needed to meet my husband first, and thinks it's a bit weird. Call it out. Call it out. Okay. Mahmoud asked her, well, you're an Egyptian, right? So Egyptian men care about what their wives do. And Naran's response was, but
Well,
Nicole,
and he was like,
adult.
she's also never hung out with people here, so he basically is saying he wants to make sure she's safe.
I can understand that. But again, Naran says Nicole is adult enough to know how to judge people. You're giving her too much credit, babe.
Yeah, she
again,
jumped into
you just met her, Naran.
Right? She just jumped into a whole religion without knowing nothing about it, okay?
And not even that. You probably know more about what's going on with her than her friends back in LA.
I was about to say, and then she told you a complete stranger her whole life story. So
but don't even tell her friends.
Where did you come up with this conclusion, ma'am?
I gotta give you that. Naran questions if he trusts her, and this clearly gets under Mahmoud's skin.
He got pissed off.
He says he trusts.
Let's not do that.
He's like, he trusts Nicole more than anybody. Nicole jumps to defend Mahmoud, and Naran says he's a typical Egyptian man and lives in a world where everyone thinks like him. So anything outside of that is a threat to him. And I said, well, tell the truth, shame the devil. Now,
that's not just Mahmoud, it's his culture.
Yeah, but Naran asked if, he's going to keep Nicole from attending her yoga classes and lets him know that, there's men there.
I felt like she was picking with him a little bit.
Oh, absolutely.
She was like, there'll be men there.
So Mahmoud says she can attend the meditation, but not the yoga. He's not really cool with Nicole stretching in front of other men. So Mahmoud admits, he would even look himself if a woman was stretching. And so Naran calls him out because, again, this is supposed to be forbidden. You're such again, that inequality. So it would be wrong.
Basically, you're blaming women or blaming her for your wrongdoing. But then he brings it back to the Quran and says, basically, no, I'm going off of what the Quran says. No, my wife is to be covered.
I would imagine in the Quran, it probably say something about lusting and looking at other people that aren't your partner. And he admitted that if he were in a yoga class himself and he saw a woman stretch, he would. So you are not above anybody. So this pedestal.
But this is the purpose of them covering so that they don't lust. That's why she's saying, so you're blaming us women, for your wrongdoing. And he's basically saying, according to the Quran, you are supposed to be covered completely so that we don't lust. He's saying it's not me and my mindset is saying it in the Quran. And I know they go back and forth a little bit about whether it says it in the Quran or not, because she says that it just says that you're supposed to dress modest. And she says the way she's dressed is modest. So basically, I guess she's saying it's subjective as far as what's considered modest. But
that brings me to my point. She goes into, so you think it's okay and fair? Because she's like, do you think God is fair? He's like, oh yeah, I think he's fair. And then she's like, so it's fair for a woman
to you think he wants us to suffer
and sweat and cover our hair in these veils, which is unhealthy for our hair and all these other things. And Mahmoud is like, it's in the Quran. I don't know. And she's like, you have to use your common mind. Things that were going on in BC, AD are not, and I get it. It's supposed to be a word. It's supposed to stretch forever and ever. But again, this is not just his religion. Let's just talk about it, okay? We do it as Christians. I know other religions that do it. We and I'm gonna even give Mahmoud a point. He even says he don't really rock with Quran because she picks and chooses what she chooses to listen to in the Quran. We got people that do that in other religions too. Let's talk about it. So they both had points. I just think what I love what she said though, and I'll say this too, I do believe that there is a lot of people in all religions that go based off of what they were told or what their, kind of how their family runs, and never actually picked up the book and read it front to back or took it themselves to take it to interpret it for themselves. That's where I was like, damn, I think she got him there. He's just going by, oh, I seen my mom do this. I seen my dad do this. I seen my mother. But have you actually sat and took the time to and that's why she was able to call him out on certain things, because he probably hasn't sat down and really read it front to back. Before I devoted my life to the church, I read the Bible front and back. What am I devoting to? And what am I going to choose to live my life by? So,
but and she's 100% correct about that. And I don't know what the Quran says, but even in our Bible, people interpret it the way they want to interpret it. So me and you could be reading the same thing. It's going to mean something different to me than it does to you. So even for her to say that, you don't know if he read the Quran or not. You interpret it different than the way he interpreted. Just like you said, oh, it just says to be modest. Like I said, that's subjective.
That's true.
He doesn't feel like the way you're dressed is modest. And he's been taught from a little boy what modest is to wear a veil. What modest is to be completely covered. What modest is to, yes, cover your hair and so you are saying, you're the one saying that that's not modest. That's subjective. So you can't sit here and tell him that he didn't read the Quran because you feel that modest is not covering up.
Okay. She came with her Mahmoud cape. She came ready. And so then he goes into, well, why would God give woman boobies if and that's why he wants you to cover. And she's like, are you serious? And again, small-minded. She's like, because we have to feed babies, my good. Are you serious? We got Gabe don't want his
no, what got me was where I feel like she kind of got him out of the whole conversation. Where she kind of got him was basically when she was talking about showing her legs, and then she was like, well, some women find guys' legs attractive. And he's like, oh no, absolutely not.
There's no way.
Yeah, there's no way. But basically saying, so you guys find us attractive, so we have to cover up. Why don't you cover up? We may find it attractive. But then again, like I said, he's still going to go back to what it says in the Quran. So it's like, we can have all these ideas in our head and what we think. But at the end of the day, if they are using the Bible to back what they're saying, and this is the culture that they have and that they live by and have been for God knows how long, then
I will say this. I think that, and this is just me, my IMO, in my opinion, that in a lot of those books, and that's why you really got to take heed, because they were written so long, and a lot of them were unequal. Even in Christianity, we're not supposed to be equal to men. We're supposed to be submissive and serve and all that other shit. And that is not what is going on in 2023. Niggas want you to have a job and have babies. Okay? It is not the same. They want you to take out the trash and kill the bugs. It's not the same.
I can't stand you.
So all I'm saying is that we just gotta sometimes, as people, Shade Squad, drop down in the comments, I'm actually, I don't care if we
But
even.
you also have to consider the fact that some people do take their religion a lot more serious than others.
Right. And to what?
So the generations changing and the times changing means nothing to certain people. It doesn't matter
Okay,
to certain
facts. That's
people.
true.
To them, it's what the Lord says. And yes, Ahmed went out, he got to experience life, but I'm sure while he was doing, he felt like he was sinning. He felt like I shouldn't be doing this the
Right.
entire time.
Oh, of
I'm sure
course.
he
That's
felt
why he
like
kept it a secret.
I'm sure he
He kept it a
felt like
secret,
my
and he didn't
wife
think he was
shouldn't
sinning.
be dressed like this, but he didn't want his wife to be looked at differently and, you know what I mean, get looks and stares or whatever because of their religion. But as soon as he got back home, all that came back. And Mahmoud, to him, this is foreign. I don't even want to sin. I don't want to do anything to sin. I want to avoid this at all costs. So that's why him hearing his brother say this, it's like, what? You did? I could never. You know what I'm saying? He's not old enough. He hasn't had enough experience.
That's what I was just about to say. I think that's also lack of life experience.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I mean, everybody sins.
Y'all,
You wake up, you wake up sinning. So
we get up, we fall down, but we get up. I'm just saying, y'all. Oh, a sin is just a sinner who fell down and got up. Okay.
okay. Nicole is super proud. I thought it was dope. She mentioned that she was super proud.
Oh, yeah, she did say she was proud of that.
Of, him standing his ground, because she's like, Naran is a strong woman. Okay. And basically, she's just proud that he didn't get up and storm off. And he stood his ground and basically spoke on what he knew, what he believed. And Naran just feels that Mahmoud is a follower.
He's not deep and is a follower.
And he didn't do his own research, and he needs to. And really, she said if it was her, she would leave.
Y'all, Rishi is going to visit his friend and astrologer, Nitesh. He's meeting him at the Majura. Am I pronouncing that right? I'm sure y'all.
I don't know. I just put a dance bar.
Well, it's what they call a dance bar is what is my notes, but I tried to get it. Majura, I believe it is. If I'm not right, correct me in the comments, Shade Squad, especially our international squad. So Rishi says the women perform in a different style, but it's not a strip club. It's not King of Diamonds.
It's
not
exotic.
Coco's. It's not V5. It's not Magic City. It's a dance culture show.
Not Blue Flame.
It's not Blue Flame. Nitesh asks how Jen is doing, and Rishi tells him her 10-year visa has been reinstated again and that she'll be arriving tomorrow. Rishi is happy about this, but is still scared of telling his family. And Nitesh asks when he plans to tell his family. He said that he wants to know that from him, and basically that's why he's there, and asks what date. So apparently Nitesh has met with both Jen and Rishi before, and I think we've seen this with another Jen, Ni, and Sumit. And so basically he told them that the planet environment wasn't conducive for telling his parents for the next 3 years. Now he tells them their destiny is difficult because Jen's traits and his aren't matching up astrologically. Now he tells him that, it's damn near impossible. And Rishi hopes that the more time they spend together, things will become clear on whether they get along or not. I'm like, isn't that too late for that, Rishi? You didn't already propose to this girl. Now you trying to, okay. So you still trying to figure it out. And it's, at this point, you're supposed to be telling your parents, but okay. So Rishi says he's determined to marry her. And Nitesh lets him know he'll have to fight a lot. But he tells him, I have a new vision, Rishi. And you will go to the stars say August 2nd at 4 p.m. Not 4:01, not 3:59, 4 p.m. The planets will align and you will sit down and tell your family. And you got to do it in a minute because, like I said, it's not 4:01.
Well, he said around 4 p.m.
And so basically, and basically he tells him that that's 50 days, which is 2 months. And he's fearful if Jen is going to wait that long, and hope she doesn't completely give up on their relationship. And my whole thing is, she got a 10-year visa now. What's her rush to go back? She can wait 2 months. That's just my opinion. I mean, if you're going to be that stupid and go after you already thought he was cheating on you and spend the plane money and all that other stuff, wait 2 months. You was already stupid. Why not continue the stupidity? Give it time to work itself out, as you say.
You an idiot.
But she said, I had to see this through. See it through, bitch. It through.
So Jen landed in India and she's headed to Jaipur. Jen is headed to the apartment because she said she was going to meet him there. Now that she's in the car on the way there, it just hit her. The whole thing about Randy, and she's disgusted. Now that she's landed.
Now that she's landing.
She says she does need to let him know. What the hell does it say? Well, she says that she does need to let him know, but she wants to give him the benefit of the doubt. So, come clean and let her know what's up. So Rishi is back at the apartment. I thought it was cute. He's getting prepared for her arrival.
I thought that was super cute.
And I mean, he's got covers, he's got
towels.
Right? I thought, okay, you learned a little something.
Everything that he missed the first time, he's on it. Daggone it.
Yes. So he goes to greet her with the flowers. Now she said she thought she was gonna be angry and want to slap the shit out of his ass. But soon as she
ended up talking him down,
all that negativity just melted away.
I bet it did. Black.
Now he said, we're standing in the same spot that I proposed. I was like, Latrice probably ate that up.
Nah.
Because it was right in the street.
No, I thought it was cute. No, but it wasn't that for me. It was the fact that, I guess because I'm thinking ahead, and I was mad because the pictures Rishi don't be sending don't be when he was in that oil therapy.
I know where you go. That was an old picture. It was an old picture.
I guess so.
They could have been touched.
You out here catfishing, bitches.
So she's noticing the new touches.
Indian Jesus need to get in the Indian gym. All that dancing ain't doing nothing for you.
You're so stupid. So she's noticing the new touches that he put on the place, and she's loving it. She's noticed the blanket. She noticed the tabs. She is pleasantly surprised, okay? He says since it's so hot and you just had all this long travel, he wants to take her to go do some oil therapy at a spa. And tells her, it'll make her feel refreshed afterwards. So she's on cloud 9 right now. And she says she knows she still has to confront him, but she just wants to stay happy in the present for the moment. So Jen and Rishi, they go to the spa for their oil drip therapy. And they're giving things to change into. And Jen says that she has not been intimate with this man in several years, okay? And now she is seeing him with his shirt off. And she feeling a little tangled down below. So they're getting the oil drip therapy. This looks nice. I want to do this. They're getting a hair rub. It looks luxurious. Jen says it's hypnotic and mesmerizing. She says it's hard for her to actually enjoy it because she's still thinking about these damn messages between him and Randy. Girl, you wasn't thinking about these messages before you got on that plane. Girl, if you don't shut up. So she asked him, while he's on social media, does he get contacted from a lot of girls? He was like, yeah, all the time. That ain't nothing new. He's like, all he do is
because he out here catfishing with them old photos.
He's so, oh, you're shady.
That gut was gutting.
He's a shade of good. He says yes, but all he does is reply. He doesn't do anything more. So she asked him if he ever arranges a meetup with any of them, and he says no. She's like, oh, okay, that's the story you're going to stick to? So she says that she actually knows for sure that he's replied to somebody and arranged to meet up, and says, I can show you on my phone if you like.
Mm.
And then
You don't want it, Risha. You don't want it.
she shows the infamous shirtless towel pic in her phone. Jen tells him that he sends her these things every day, and now it don't mean
Rishi up here, it wasn't me.
he told her.
It wasn't me.
Okay. She says that she's ready to smack him in the face. Okay. And basically, she was like that. She feels like 1 minute she loves him, 1 minute she's angry and feels resentful. Rishi gonna tell this woman he don't even remember that. And Jen, you can see she is getting pissed off more and more as he lies. And yeah, he basically said it wasn't me.
It wasn't me. Now, Gabe and Isabel's dad are working out in the park. He told Isabel that he has more questions for Gabe. And, Gabe is obviously nervous because they've never spent time alone. So her father brings up their discussion about, him transitioning and asks what made him make the change. And as we know, Gabe says he never felt like a woman. This was actually, I don't want to say it was emotional, but
I think it was pretty emotional.
Yeah, it was emotional, I guess, because I was about to cry. Even if the dad was crying, so it's not just my sensitive Pisces ass. It was everybody. Now he tells Isabel's father, "Imagine waking up with boobies one day."
Do we know his name?
No, I don't.
I got the same thing.
I don't. But Isabel's dad said, he told him, like, imagine waking up with boobies one day. The life of a woman was not what he wanted or how he felt. Isabel's father asked, from being a woman to now a man with a beard and facial hair, basically, how does he feel? And he says that he didn't like anything about his life as a woman.
He said even saying that he used to be a woman disgusts him.
Right. Gabe shows him his social media and his transition, but says he hates seeing it because he hates seeing who he once was. Isabel's father is actually really shocked. And I think this is the point when he starts to get emotional, but can understand that it was hard and he hated himself. Gabe tells him when he looks at those pictures, he remembers every single day he wanted to die or unalive. Now, Gabe says him being born a woman, he felt he had body parts that didn't match his brain and he didn't feel normal. He says wishing you were someone else every day is depressing. So he put himself, obviously, like I said, I will always put hats off. If you go through all that and all them surgeries and that you really are committed, that is what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
That is what you want to do. And so, he said he's put himself through a lot to get into a body that felt like his own. And now he doesn't feel like that anymore. Isabel's dad tells him to basically leave that in the past and move forward because he can see that he's kind of self-deprecating a little bit. And he says, God always calls me to love each person in the condition they're in and believes that if all of us can have God in us, we could all have more respect. What is that for the LGBTI?
He did say I.
But again, this is all new to him. So I'm happy he was able to get the first couple letters because it's got like 15 now. No shade. He thanks Gabe for sharing and giving and gave him a super big embrace. And yeah, no, it was actually a really dope moment. And I actually think that Gabe definitely thought that it was going to go differently and everything went well. And he's happy that he has everyone's acceptance and is basically ready to kind of like move on and ask her dad if he can marry Isabel.
Yeah, so Gabe is relieved that her dad accepts him, but he's now worried. He has a whole new issue that will he accept me as Isabel's dad? I mean Isabel's husband. I said Isabel's dad. As Isabel's husband. So they go and have a seat, and he tells him that he loves Isabel very much and asks for his permission to marry her. And the dad is so excited. Like, I mean, you can see it all over his face. And he says he's speechless. He was like speechless in a good way,
right?
Bad way. So he says yes. He thinks it's great, and he wanted
her to settle down. Like, I've been trying to get that crazy girl off my hands for a while.
And you're so stupid. And says they'll be happy with their union. So, he says that he didn't expect it so soon, but he is ready for Gabe to be his son-in-law and to be a part of their family. And says now you got to talk to her and she got to accept it. He's super excited that he has the blessing of her children and her father, and he can't wait to propose. I thought it was so cute. So then Gabe, he takes Isabel to the pottery studio because she
The
wants
Pottery Barn, as I call it.
Huh?
The Pottery Barn.
Pottery Barn. Jesus Christ.
It's Pottery Barn, y'all.
You are crazy. She wants to learn, and she wasn't able to make it there before when he brought the kids, but we know he ain't really want her to. So Isabel says El Carmen is known for their beautiful pottery, but she didn't know how important it was to him. Now she's enjoying herself and asks how things went when he brought the kids, and he says they went really good. And do you want to see their plate? So they go get their plate. She shows them, and then he asks for his plate, which comes out. It's like with a little porcelain house on it. Is that what that was? There was like a little something on it, and on it, I think it said, "Will you marry me?" I don't know what it said. I think
I think it said, "Will you marry me?" I thought it was like a cupcake or something.
I thought I saw like a door and windows on this. I don't know. It was something. It was something in the middle of the plate.
And then she picked it up, and the plate said, "Will you marry me?"
So he got down on one knee. He said his whole spiel in Spanish. So I don't know what he said, and it was too much subtitles to go through and write down for y'all. But you can go back and watch.
But I can tell y'all, she said yes.
Yes, and he asked her, will she marry him? And she said yes. She said, of course. Yes. Okay. And basically he let her know that he also got the approval from her kids and her dad, and they already knew before her, and it just means the world to her. She's super excited. She's super happy.
Oh, well, congrats to Gabe and Isabel. I'm glad that everything seems to be working out so far. Now, Kris and Jamie, this pile of foolishness and mess. I told y'all this was coming. Now, they are in newlywed bliss. Kris says that she told Jamie she would be responsible for bills, but has been having issue with her finances ever since she got to Colombia. Her bank froze her account because they believe they stole her identity. So she's trying to work towards financial stability in Colombia. Now, hear me out. I do know banks do that, especially when you travel abroad. I'm not gonna hold you. However,
freeze your account.
I can see them shutting it down and making you call to be like, is this
or even sending a picture of something like your ID or something like.
Anyway,
because I've been out the country and it's happened. They ain't freeze my account.
Well, that's another thing that I had to think about when during this scene. She also is from Alabama. So unless she's banking with like some small bank, like the First Bank of Alabama or something like that, maybe they ain't got them rules. Maybe it's not like a BB&T or a PNC or a Wells Fargo or Bank of America. They might not have the capabilities. Smaller banks, they don't be, and she is out in the sticks. I'm trying to, look, for whatever reason, I'm out here caping for Kris. I don't know why, but that was, or I shouldn't even say caping because I really don't care for her.
You are.
I'm playing devil's advocate for Kris.
Caping.
Don't do that. No,
because I don't know. The math ain't math.
Ain't no capes here because I'm about to get in that ass. So her and Jamie came up with this idea of starting a business to run a food truck. They wanted to be Venezuelan and American fusion. They look at one truck for 10,000 with 4,500,000 miles. And then they look at the school bus food truck next, and it has tables where people can eat. But it also has zombies on the outside, weapons on the inside. Kris loves it. Jamie loves it because obviously the tables and they can move it around, people can eat.
And I understood why Jamie loved it, but right. I would have wanted to change all that zombie stuff.
Right. So Jamie, like I said, feels like that's the best option. And Kris then says she wants to focus on the menu. Once she heard the price, she then tells Jamie she wants to focus on the menu first. We didn't talk about that before we got there. We didn't think about what we were going to serve on the truck before we decided we were going to make a food truck.
She thought it was going to be less. She thought it was going to be cheaper than it was.
I would not go into business with her. If you just thought about that after you heard the price, because even then, that should have been talked about before you think about making a food truck. How much is it going to cost to try to operate this daily before you even try to go buy the vehicle to do it? Because you can go even, let's say the vehicle was $500, $1,000, even if it was $2,000, $5,000, whatever. If you don't know how much it's going to cost to operate, how did that make sense? What type of business plan is that?
I don't know, but she gives me shady.
Oh no. And I'm not saying this allegedly. In my opinion, word on these YouTube streets, Kris has a problem. I didn't say it. I didn't say it. I'm just sharing the narrative that people are suggesting in these YouTube streets that she may have a problem. And that's why she needs them drugs so bad. Just saying. Allegedly, of course. So Kris realizes that, she got caught up in a fairy tale of Colombia and realizes her dream may have not been practical. She thinks the food truck is a lot more expensive than she thought it would be. And then the next scene, we see Kris packing. Only been there for a good goddamn month. Okay. And she's on her way back to America. She said she's been having continuous problems with her bank. Allegedly First Bank of Alabama. I'm just saying it must be a real small bank. And can't get her narcolepsy pills over there. Apparently, people don't mail prescriptions anymore. I'm just saying.
I thought it was that they didn't have the medicine over there, like they didn't sell it.
So you can't mail them? You can't have somebody mail them to your house and then you ship them to Colombia?
How's she gonna get the prescription? Well, I guess somebody could pick it up. Listen, there's a lot of stuff that's just not making sense already.
So she says she's determined that the best thing for her to do was take a quick trip home to take care of things. I bet it was. Now, Jamie says she understands, but is sad because they haven't spent much time together. Kris gives her a necklace and tells her it's important to her and wants her to hold on to it so she knows she's coming back. Jamie isn't happy about her leaving after just getting married and feels but does feel a little bit more comfortable with her leaving now that they are married. We learn on the ride to the air. I wondered, was this marriage even legal? Let me be quiet. We learn on the ride to the airport because she gives me real fraudulent right now. I'm suspect about everything about her. I wonder if there was an actual license or was this like a spiritual marriage? Anyway, because Jamie, you might not be getting nothing. So anyway, we learn on the ride to the airport that she only has a one-way ticket home. That ain't weird. I feel like Jamie here, and this is another thing that brought it to my attention.
You don't think that's suspicious?
Now, there's another thing that bothered me. You're so hurt for money, but you just taking flights back home to Alabama like it ain't from Colombia.
How she booked it? But she ain't go to no desk.
I'm gonna be quiet.
She had to pay cash.
But she can't access her funds. The math ain't mathing. The checks ain't checking with Kris. Okay.
They ain't cashing.
So basically, Jamie tells her if she doesn't come back, she'll sell all her clothes and shit. And Kris laughs about it. And Jamie tells her she don't think that's funny.
She got a straight face. She did not laugh at her. She was like,
she did not think it was funny. And Kris says she doesn't want to be away from Jamie and wants to get back ASAP. And Jamie is having a hard time and is scared that Kris may not come back. And I do remember, and I'm going to say this because I've already seen the preview and I know, she told Jamie, I think the longest would be 2 weeks. She said maybe 2 weeks at longest, and I should be back once I get everything handled. That's why she bought a one-way ticket, but she just needed to know, but it should only be like 2 weeks. And we already know when we come to see the preview for next episode, that she's gone for a month, if not longer. You're playing in my face. You're playing in Jamie's face, and I feel bad for her because for whatever reason, that girl is obsessed with you. But I guess because you sending her the money, she should be. I don't know.
Who's next, Shadow? Debbie has been in Morocco for a while now, and they're heading to a poetry reading at an international cafe.
This was really dope. This would be some stuff I would do.
It was cute. It was a cute little place. But I think she felt
it looked like it was on like a rooftop too.
Yeah, it did. I think she felt out of place because she looked like she might have been the oldest one there. She did make a comment about, you know, all these young people hanging out there. But she's enjoying herself.
Everybody was younger than her.
I just love Debbie's energy. She don't give a fuck. She enjoying herself. Okay. Don't do that. Me and Talia was talking about how she was a little cutie pie, and I was like, you know, I was like, Trees be hating on her. Yeah, stop it. Shut up, Trees.
I just want Debbie to go somewhere and crochet some sweaters for her grandchildren.
She do. Okay, she's real creative. Leave her alone. Let her have some love too. So then Osama got up and read his poem about Debbie.
Not with somebody that could be probably the age of her. Not that with somebody that could probably be the age of someone of her grandchildren.
Men do it all the time.
That's disgusting. I don't think it's cute when men do it.
Put that out your mind. Put that out your mind. Leave my boo alone.
I bet she got a grandchild that's like 20-something. Go ahead.
Say what?
I bet she got a grandchild that's about 20-something.
She ain't got no grandchildren.
You think her?
Well, not that. Not. I think her son is like close to that age. Just leave her alone, okay? Leave Debbie. So she says she's super surprised that, you know, he's getting up there in front of everybody, letting them know that that's my man. Period. She said,
"Caping for Debbie."
She said,
"Caping."
Period. She said he let them know that he wrote a poem for his fiance. Again, fiance. So she says, you know, it's making her believe in him again. And she said that, you know, that reading made her weak. You know, she getting weak in her knees. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I don't know what he said. Okay. I ain't write down none of the poems.
I didn't either.
But he did a poem for his fiance, and he did let everybody in the room know, look, that's my fiance, and I wrote a poem for her. I'm reading it for her. Okay. Now he said that he wanted to prove his love to her and everyone, and he thought this is a great way to do it. And, you know, she says that she felt that. She felt it and made her proud. She said that she hopes that, you know, she's doing the right thing by trusting him again. I hope so too, because we're gonna have to rough him up. Okay, Debbie, listen. I'll come down to Sugar Hill, boo. Listen.
Debbie said, I guess so.
Period.
Blood starts racing through my gout.
You what? You what? What you say?
I said blood starts racing through her gout.
Don't do that. Don't. First of all, we know it's not just for old people. Okay. So let's not, okay? Let's not come for Debbie like that. We pick back up with Johan and Danielle's conversation.
Disrespectful ass Danielle. I'm sorry. That's her new name. She is disrespectful ass Danielle.
Dee. Mm-hmm. So she is still pushing the envelope and asked, so I can't have no friends. And he tells her,
I don't really want no friends.
You know what?
I don't really want no friends.
He tells her that you can have guy friends, but it's different with guys who you was in a relationship with.
Absolutely.
So then she tried to flip it and says, how would you feel? And, you know, basically, she was like, well, it would be he tried to flip it. And she says, basically, it would be a conversation and asked him, you ain't got no friends? And he says, I have female friends, but none that I was in a relationship. Like, you over here. I don't know why. It just made me think that he just wanted to go, you over here. Like, and he basically says, you know, she's from a different culture. Okay. And, you know, ask her if she really wants to go. And she says yes, but she wants to go with him. He said he ain't doing it. He has no interest in meeting him. And told her, you know what, you really want to go that bad, you can go. Just know there's consequences when you get back. Okay.
Is it just me outside of the car scene? Did we see anything new? Because I felt like this was repetitive from last episode.
It was
that's another reason why I felt like I didn't get a lot on this, because I was like, we saw this last episode.
It was repetitive.
Okay.
And basically tells her that she's not showing him respect. She told him that, you know, they can talk about it. When he's not mad, he said he's not. I ain't mad. But she says she's ready to go because basically they're not going to find any resolution. Once again, they argue about who's driving. And then she tells him that he had a few beers, sits on his lap and says she is not getting up till he passed them keys because he is not driving out this parking lot. Now, she feels like if this is going to piss Johan off this much, he's going to be a miserable because she got a lot of people in her life that he is not going to be fond of.
Well,
this is what happened when you get married. I guess
she probably shouldn't be with him.
Now, on the road.
Look, when she said that, I was like, that's messed up, because that basically is you saying you're going to do what you want to do, regardless how he feels about it, but you ain't going to like it when the same is returned to your ass.
And that's why he said what he said, because he knows that he's not getting through to her, and he feels like she's gonna do whatever she want to do anyway. So he's like, okay, well,
she's like, so what, are you gonna go sleep with another woman? Is that the end of our relationship? This is whatever I wanted to be at the time, because you're being disrespectful and you're showing you have no regard for me. I really do not like her.
That's basically what happened. That was on the ride back. That's basically what happened.
Yeah.
He just basically tell her it won't be good for you, boo. It won't be good for you.
I wouldn't try it.
He said, you'll see when you come back.
Look, round and find out.
If it was a person.
Right. So thank you guys so much for tuning in to this late review of 90 Day Fiancé. I appreciate you guys bearing with me as I get through my sickness. But I want you guys to hit that like button if you haven't already.
You comment. And
please make sure that you're subscribed.
And hit the notification bell.
And y'all, we will catch you in a couple days, actually, a day or two. Well, you know, we'll usually get it around Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever. So we'll get you next week for 90 Day Fiancé. And yeah, if you catch us for Put a Ring on It, we will Put a Ring on It live Monday, and we will be on it. What is it, Dad? Go on it. Power. We will be doing Power on Sunday Night Live. So make sure y'all tune in 10 p.m. Love you guys. Make sure you follow us on the IG, the TikTok, the Twitter, and the Facebook. And we will see you in a few days. Bye-bye.
Good night.